So, if you're a social media fitness influencer, is a non-written law that in every video you must bang on about how you must be in a calorie deficit in order to lose any body fat. I mean, that's right, I'm not trying to say that that's wrong. However, they don't really go into how you work out if you're in a calorie deficit and how many calories you should be eating, which I think is bloody annoying. Now, I kind of get why they don't tell you. I mean, it drives engagement and it means that you're contacting them and showing that you're showing an interest in their content, which is great for them. However, they only kind of do that in order to bombard you with DMs and try and sell you fitness plans, meal plans, that sort of thing. And to be honest with you, you don't need any of that crap. So I'm going to show you how to be in a calorie deficit and how many calories you need to consume every day to lose body fat. So let's go. I spend a lot of time watching reels on Facebook or shorts on YouTube and things like that, and you see a lot of these social media influencers. And yeah, some of the content is great. I find a lot of inspiration for things, especially some of the cooking reels and anything to do with food is great usually. However, when you have someone talking to you, they're holding one of these little clip-on mics, like it's something like, oh, they've got it clipped onto a headband, and yeah, they're trying to tell you that you need to be in a calorie deficit, which is great, but they don't actually tell you how to be in a calorie deficit. Even in the comments, if you ask, look, how do I get in a calorie deficit? They'll say, oh, well, you need to consume less calories than you burn. Great, okay, so how do you work out how many calories that you burn? Now that's where your TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure, comes into play. Now, that sounds more complicated than it actually is. So your TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure, is quite simply the amount of calories that you burn during a day. I mean, it says it right here, so I highlight this. So total energy expenditure explains how many calories the body burns daily by accounting for three major contributing factors: your BMR, or your basal metabolic rate, your activity levels, and the thermic effect of food metabolism. Right, so the last two you probably ignore for a minute. So your BMR, what is that? So basically your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you burn doing absolutely nothing. Now, why we do this is that you work out how many calories you burn just doing nothing, then you tack on your activity levels, then you can work out how many calories you need to eat or not eat in order to lose body fat. Now, quite simply, if you Google TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure, you will come up with various calculators. I mean, there's two on my screen here right now. As you can see, I've already visited this one. They're essentially the same thing. They use the same algorithm or the same equation to work out the BMR and ultimately how many calories you should be consuming. So, if we have a look here, right, I'm going to click on the metric, but I mean, if you use imperial and use pounds and ounces and feet and so on, you can use that. It does exactly the same thing at the end. So, takes your age into account, so I'm 42, I'm going to bang that in there. My weight currently is 104 kilograms on the head. My height is 167 centimeters. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more in-depth. So when it comes to activity levels, there are a few things that you need to take into consideration. So if you're sedentary, that means you don't do a lot, you're sat at a desk like I do most of the time, then you would select that. If you have light exercise 1 to 2 days a week, you would select that option. There's moderate exercise, which is 3 to 5 days of an hour's worth of exercise per day. Then you've got heavy exercise, which is 6 to 7 days worth of exercise. And then you've got an athlete, which I'm nowhere near at all, and I'm not even going to consider that. So right now I'm going to select sedentary because I sit at my desk a lot. I'm not very active right now. Looking to improve my activity levels. If you select a lower level of activity than you think you are, so if you're doing 1 to 2 days worth of exercise, I personally would say, right, okay, we'll select the option below that just to be on the safe side, and you can always go up from there. Okay, so right, all I'm going to do now is hit calculate, and it's going to do the hard work for me. Right, there you go. So this is where it needs a bit of deciphering. So my BMR, or my basal metabolic rate, is 1,879 calories per day. So basically that means if I don't do anything for the day, I lay on the sofa watching Netflix all day, that's how many calories I, in theory, should be burning. As you can see, it goes through each of the options here on what would happen if we selected the different activity levels. Now, as I'm sedentary, it is estimated that in order to maintain my body weight, I should be eating 2,255 calories per day, which kind of makes sense. That sounds about right to me, based on what I have been eating over the last couple of weeks. But if I scroll down now, so this is where it gets pretty cool. So for maintenance, again, it's showing the amount of calories I should be eating there. So it's 2,255 calories. Great. I'm ignoring the macros at the moment because I'm not going to be looking at that right now. I'm going to be focusing on hitting my protein goal every day, but carbs and fats, they can just get out of it for now. I'm not interested in that. So back to what I'm saying. If I eat 2,255 calories per day, I should maintain my current weight. Great. However, I don't want to do that at all. I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. So there's a few tabs here. You've got one that's cutting and one that's bulking. Bulking, as it may sound, is if I was looking to bulk up or gain weight. So clicking on cutting, and it actually gives you what you should be consuming in order to lose body fat. So if we look here, my maintenance calories 2,255. It is a suggestion that I eat 1,755 calories in order to lose body fat, which is roughly about 500 calories less than my maintenance calories. So quite simply, that has worked out how many calories I should be eating in order to be in a calorie deficit. So 1,755. Okay, so why is it that social media seems to think that this is shrouded in some sort of mystery? I mean, this isn't rocket science. This isn't actually hard. I mean, I have got the equation. If you want to see it, it's on the screen right about here somewhere. Now, the formula for this is quite complex, and I kind of understand why social media and even this website kind of hides it. I mean, I probably could find it somewhere on the website or even Google the formula. This long calculation, which, to be honest with you, this website does perfectly for you. Now, I know my deficit now is 1,755. However, if I was to ignore that 500 calorie deficit and maybe drop it down to 250 calories, that would still be, well, what? I mean, 2,005 calories. I potentially would still lose weight on that. Now, 500 calories will probably speed up the rate in which I would lose weight. However, if I find it too tricky or I'm not enjoying what I'm eating and think I need a couple of hundred calories here and there, I know I've got a ceiling there of 500 calories that if I go over or go up to, I'm going to be coming closer to my maintenance calories. So there might be the odd occasion where I won't lose weight, or I will lose weight a little bit slower than I would do normally. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And that's basically how you want to look at this. Yeah, so this is only a suggestion. I mean, it uses an algorithm to guess how active you are. And this is why I say if you go for whatever you think you are and go slightly lower, you get a nice little baseline. Now, if you think you're a bit more active than that, or you don't seem to be losing as much weight, or you don't think that you're losing as much weight, you could up those calories slightly. I wouldn't suggest going lower than that in the way of calories. I mean, not the current weight that I am. I mean, if I was, 70 kilograms at the same, and I did light exercise 1 to 2 days a week. So if I recalculate that, it gives you a bit more of a change in what it is that I'm looking at. So, for example, here, if I'm still trying to cut and I'm 70 kilograms, the deficit is even there. It's not as little as what you see some people trying to go for. People think that if you drop down to 1,200 calories per day, you're in a calorie deficit. Well, yeah, you are, but if you're working out every day, if you're doing all the cardio under the sun, you're doing weightlifting 3 times a week, you think 1,200 calories is enough. Well, I mean, look at that. So 2 to 3 days, 1 to 2 days worth of exercise or activity, and even still, it's not dropped my deficit below 1,600. This is why, if you just think that you can lose weight by just dropping down to 1,200 calories, or even 1,000 calories, some of the things I've seen online, it's the wrong way of going about it. And this is what I think social media needs to try and debunk. I mean, I don't know, I've seen a couple of channels and a couple of influencers that have said, look, you need to eat. I think there is the RT team on Facebook. They suggest that you don't eat anything below 2,000 calories. They have a lot of their clients that lose weight on that, which is fantastic, and that's the way we should be moving forward with this, and not thinking that you have to restrict everything right down to 1,400 calories in order to lose body fat. Yeah, you probably will for so long, but then you'll hit a plateau or a wall and you'll hit the f*** it button and eat everything in sight, and then you put back on the weight that you have done in a few days. In a nutshell, that is how you work out how many calories you need to be consuming in order to be in a calorie deficit. I think there are a few apps out there that do this as well. I've not really explored those because I know there's a website that just does it straight away for you. I will be putting links in the description on the website and how to actually just work this out. It's quite straightforward. I can pop it in the description there. It's one of those things that you can just dip into every couple of weeks. I wouldn't suggest doing it every week, but every 4 weeks, every 5 weeks possibly. And that's how I'm planning to do it anyway, just to be on the safe side, just to make sure I'm on the right track with things. And that's all there is to it. Now, if you've taken anything from this video, I would very much appreciate a thumb up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to make sure you're up to date with all my videos, as I'll be making more videos like this. And drop out in the comment if you would like to see me make a video on how to work out how much protein you should be consuming in order to lose body fat. It's quite a straightforward video, but I think it deserves its own video away from this one. If you'd like to see that video, drop a comment down there, and I'd love to put something together for it. But anyway, until next time, have a good one.